Y'all were like in the middle of a session.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, we
Yeah.
are recording now, by the way.
I remember I came into the Winter Falls Watch together one time, and like Christine was like listening to everything. I'm like, Christine, I need to prep music for this session. You're welcome to listen. But yeah, okay. Yeah. So where we pick up now? Some different music here. The feeling in your chest is exhaustion. Heaving, breathing, burning, humid air going in and out. As you guys stumble your way through thicket after thicket, vines grasping at your shoulders and legs, as you leave a devastating trail of trampled foliage in your wake. In the distance, perhaps a half mile now, barely visible in the quickly darkening evening air, torchlights flickering, following, an occasional silver whistle pealing over the air through the woods. I need everybody to roll me another athletics check.
Oh, we're freaking
Athletics?
screwed, boys.
I don't know why I
Okay,
would
good.
have advantage to
I didn't
16.
fix my spell slots. I was afraid I was gonna fix everything.
16 on
Alright,
soul.
athletics.
12. 15.
Woo!
Excellent. Excellent.
Can I tell how close they are?
He said about half a mile.
Just a rough guesstimation. You can only make a perception check if you want to have a more precise idea, I suppose.
Yes, because I might want to try and do something to
13.
mess
You are some kind of spellcaster. I won't spoil it for anybody. You have some kind of dark vision.
I do. I have Devil's Sight currently.
Okay. And what does that extend towards?
120 feet.
Okay, gotcha. Unfortunately, with 13 perception, you're not able to gauge much more accurately than you already were. And this is just the briefest of look-backs as you catch your breath for a second, as you all stumble in Soul's wake. As another 15-20 minutes pass, the torches now not quite so visible. The whistles now entirely inaudible. You think maybe now is a good time to catch your breath.
I need water.
You look around to each of your companions, taking a rough head count in the darkness. Some of you being able to see in the dark a little bit better than others. You realize someone's missing. The Dragonborn.
So
You thought he was
How
right
did- his
behind
name
you,
was-
Skull.
Kane. Is it Kane?
Yeah, his name is Kane.
Kane. Where is he?
I thought he was behind us, but after I pulled ahead, I don't know what happened.
I can't just assume that everybody was running.
Well, I mean, we're also kind of down one other as well, but I mean, he kind of did this to himself.
He definitely went into the ruin. And I
Wonder if
didn't
he'll be
see him
okay.
walk out before I started running.
So do we go back and find Kane?
I mean, it's suicide to turn back now. You know how
I
many
mean-
of those guys are after us, bro? I mean, you can see them now.
I've still got a job to do. So whether we go back sooner or go back later, I'm going back one way or another.
We'll definitely be going back. I still need to figure out what's in there. But
I'm definitely curious now after seeing that Watcher.
yes, but we definitely shouldn't rush it. After what just
Yeah.
happened, we clearly were in over our heads.
To be fair though, curiosity killed the cat, and probably that other guy too. I don't know how he's doing right now. He may or not be dead.
Well, hopefully he's not dead.
I guess you're gonna find out if you're going in there.
We go back and he's just part of the cult. I mean, didn't that happen to you all once already?
Well, I don't think they were a
Yeah.
cult so much as they were a military organization.
Well, apparently there was a resistance, but they didn't seem like much of a resistance to me.
Yeah, no, the people we met were a cult.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting bunch.
To say the least.
Well,
They were definitely pretty fortified back there too.
there were, and then the butcher's gonna be showing up soon. Actually, hold on. Sorry. Did we overhear them talking about the butcher?
Or did we see them?
We didn't see the butcher. We
Oh,
knew that
right,
he was.
no.
You didn't see the butcher.
We.
I want to say, Soul heard at least part of the conversation.
Okay.
Kane heard a fair bit of it because he was invisible, kind of in the midst of them. Marcus heard a lot, but he's not with you.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
Sly and Frost were kind of on the periphery. So the only one who would really know anything about that would be Saul at this point, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Just had to. I knew meta gaming
It's
are
important to clarify who knows what,
Yeah.
for sure.
cool. All right. So scratch what I just said.
Did they mention the butcher? Am I within my hearing?
You
they mention the
heard a
butcher?
little bit of what they were talking
Yeah,
about.
you can kind of sort of infer. You don't know a lot of information.
Okay. I don't think the butcher was there yet.
Who's this butcher? I only know a little bit about this butcher.
He's the leader of the Silverhawk.
Okay.
From what I've heard, they say he's more of a monster than anyone else here.
Like actually a monster or just vicious?
I wouldn't
Vicious.
be surprised.
Tall as, I think they said 2 men, and can fight like an army.
I was gonna say I've heard rumors. I don't know much about this man, but I've heard that he's almost otherworldly. So, I kind of assume that that's as a matter of fact kind of statement. So, have either of you all seen the butcher?
If either of us would have seen him, he would have had our heads.
Well, it doesn't sound promising, and he was supposed to be there.
Yep.
Well, that definitely doesn't sound promising. I feel like our friend Marcus might he's either gonna be a part of this this military organization, or we're gonna go back and he's just not gonna be alive anymore.
Considering
But hey,
they
the
still
Watcher
needed
chose him, so
Yeah, consider they still needed wizards and other magic casters. I don't think they'll throw him away that lightly. Especially since he didn't actually kill any of them. However, they would definitely kill me on sight. This is a bit of a mess now.
well.
You
What
hear
time
the-
of day is
the-
it? Do
you hear
we
the-
know?
The pealing of the whistle once again beginning to come into the periphery of your hearing. And as I said, it is darkening in the evening,
Okay.
perhaps 7 or 8.
Oh, okay. Cool.
With the dense jungle, it's almost as good as night right now. Just the barest bits of sunlight creeping in through some of the
It's-
shrubs.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like I don't know, like midnight and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
Pitch
What
black.
direction are we hearing the whistling from?
East from whence you came.
Listen, boys, I don't know about you, but I don't know if I'm in condition to take those boys again. Maybe we should hold up for a little bit. Let things die down.
I agree. We should definitely get out of this area. I can hear them coming from the east, so we should probably head northwest. Try and lose the trail.
That is not what I wanted to do.
Now, it's been some time, so for us playing the game, so for those of you who don't remember, there is a T-Rex or something on the loose somewhere.
The Imperiosaur.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
We would have
damn.
seen tracks of it if we were in that direction.
Yeah. Just so y'all don't, in case some of y'all forgot.
Yeah,
I just
forget whether
remembered
it was
that.
Northeast or northwest.
I want to say he was heading northwest.
If you're looking at the map right here, the symbol right here is representation of the ruin and the military establishment you guys just left. You can actually use your rulers here. You guys are now about six miles or so away from it. You've been schmoving for about an hour and a half to 2 hours at this point. Okay.
Okay.
We either
What do you guys do
Hop
from
up.
here? What's the decision making? Do you continue running blindly through the jungle to the west? Do you try to hide somewhere?
Actually, I remember us seeing the Imperiosaur's track in the direction it went. Do we remember which direction it went?
Yes, the Imperiosaur tracks kind of like went north and like just kind of barely veered off the camp to the east.
Okay, so we are in the complete opposite
Hopefully-
direction right now.
Hopefully we'll be alright.
Yeah. From what we've seen, at least from what we've seen, the Imperiosaur isn't in the area, so we should probably keep heading northwest.
Yeah, I guess the question is do we, like, at what point do we, like, I don't know. Because I don't know, it's just tough because it's like, well, I don't want to be continuing blindly into the forest because the forest is known to be dangerous, especially at night. But also, I don't want to be absolutely screwed by the, whatchamacallit, by the people chasing us, Silverhawk.
So how about this?
I'm sorry that I keep linking shit.
Alright.
We keep going for now, and then once we don't hear the whistles anymore, we start moving stealthily so we can lose their trail and be more observant of our surroundings.
Okay, alright. Should I? I'm the only one without dark vision then. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and cast dark vision on myself.
Okay, absolutely.
So that way I'm not just like stumbling around, making a ton of noise, slowing us down.
Great.
Well, that's cool.
Would
I
you-
didn't know you had that.
Would you please? Could you post that for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
$60 Very cool. Okay. This lasts 8 hours. Okay. Yep, you guys see Sly's eyes almost begin to have almost like a chrome type sheen to them as they begin to reflect the very small modicum of firelight Soul is producing almost passively.
Alright, let's get out of here. Vamos.
Yep.
Um,
Sly's the one who
Yeah.
decides where we go, so that's what we
and
agreed upon.
I, hold on.
Pass without trace? No. I'm kidding.
Got it. No. I want to create a minor illusion. It's a cantrip. I don't know how close they are, or if they will come into contact with this within a minute. But I want to create a sound of a a howling wolf. Just in our I guess where we're at now.
Okay.
And then, so if they come close enough, I don't know how close they actually have to be to hear it though. That's I guess 30 feet.
Create a sound. Its volume can range from a whisper to a scream. It can be your voice, someone else's voice, a lion's roar, beating of drums, or any other sound you choose. Sound continues unabated through the duration. You can make a discrete sound at different times before the spell ends. Yeah, absolutely. I would say if it is a sound you know, and it is not a sound that would be inherently dangerous, like a banshee's wail, for example,
Right.
you could produce it.
Yeah, no, so like for this it would just be like the canonically hold on. Well, I mean, I guess most everybody already knows that I'll be going for a Hound of Ill Omen. So like a howl kind of like that.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
so I don't know if there's like much of a distinction between it, but
Certainly. Frost points, gesticulates. You see a tiny bit of. I mean, what color would you say your magic is, Frost? For flavor,
so
maybe kind of a white or black.
it would definitely be like more of like a like kind of like a it's definitely like black with like so if you were to have almost like it's kind of like got like a gray smoke around it. I don't know if I can describe it too well, but have you ever seen I'll see if I can bring it up.
A Dementor.
Yeah, I mean honestly, that's actually pretty fucking close.
Cool.
Yeah, actually.
Okay. You see kind of a wispy black tendril shoot forth from Frost's arm, soul. Actually, and Sly, you both have dark vision. As it spirals outward and coalesces in this strange, almost whirlpool type substance on the ground nearby. After a couple of moments, Frost kind of withdraws his hand, and then you hear this almost like slow moaning howl that picks up into this drone that kind of fills your heart with some kind of primal fear.
And I say to them, and with that, it's time to go. So let's get out of here.
As it just echoes through the trees. Yeah, absolutely. As you guys begin making your way forward, Sly, you're leading the way. Roll me a perception check.
All right. $22.
Nice.
Excellent. Remember that roll, and we'll get back to you.
Cool.
As we go to Marcus. The last couple of hours were a blur, Marcus. You were surrounded. Silverhawk on all sides, silver spears pointed at your throat. Easily 24 of them. And behind them, several magic folk who, despite their apparent captivity, did not look friendly. As you finally gave yourself up, what was believed to be your arcane focus was taken from you.
Can I have an opportunity to, like, roleplay right as they, surround me?
Certainly. What would you like to say to them?
So if I recall, we left off, I kind of had run into the main chamber, found a bunch of other magic users, and then the guards came up behind me, leveled their spears at me. Around that time, probably invisibility would have dropped. I would like to just kind of raise my hands in surrender, and I would have nothing in my hands, although it's very obvious that I have the tattoos. And I would turn to the guards and say, "My apologies. I I wanted to come. I know you wanted me here, but I didn't want to come as a prisoner. You've got me curious. Surely there's a way that we can work something out.
Sure, only a persuasion check.
Okay. If I can find it here.
The guards with the spears staring you down through their visors as you see their eyes narrowed to slits. Sharp. Resolved, but scared. Despite the fact that they have you outnumbered, something about you is unsettling to them. As what appears to be the ranking officer indicates in summary that you are not going to be harmed so long as you cooperate, and that you will be imprisoned for the next few hours until we have this all sorted out.
I cooperate with them in that case.
All right.
And at my earliest opportunity, once they throw me in my cell, I am immediately, actually, how do I want to do this? Am I at 18? Yeah, as soon as they put me in my cell, I'm going to cast Sleep on myself.
Okay.
At level 2.
Just before that, let me give you a brief description of the area.
Sure.
As the spears are slowly lowered, the guards begin to flank you and escort you. The threat on your life having subsided, you're able to get a greater bearing of your current position in this ruin, which isn't quite so ruined as you might have thought. Great pillars spiral upwards to a ceiling that you cannot even see. It is shrouded in shadow. A gentle breeze flows through the cavernous space down the great hallway that you sprinted down only moments before. You see that you are now what appears to be a great, almost meeting hall. You see wooden tables strewn about, many of which sit magical folk that you saw enter, as well as many that you did not. The personages on display are extremely myriad. You see both genders. You see races of all kinds. Gnomes, halflings, elves, eladrin. You see a dragonborn or two. All of them have similar bearings, similar telling signs, if you will. Close, but not perfect facsimiles of each other. A druid marking on a person's hand. A gnarled staff of hazelwood that could only be a wizard's staff. Strange eldritch runes engraved on a man's pupil. The sure-tale sign of a warlock. As you pass by, a few of them give you pitying looks. Many of them indifferent, broken, disimpassioned. Their thoughts elsewhere. As you are led through the atrium to the side, based on your rough bearing, I would say you have the intelligence to know this. This would be the eastern side of the atrium. You are led into a small alcove. A rectangular chamber lined with simple ramshackle holding cells made of wood. It's almost like, almost think like wood and thatch kind of twined together into rather ramshackle, but relatively sturdy-looking holding cells. You see, you are the only one in these prison cells. Perhaps 6 in all. As you're escorted in, led into the nearest cell, The door is closed and twined shut, and 4 guards are stationed nearby. Do you still attempt to cast sleep on yourself?
I guess I... That is a very good point, actually. Give me 1 second.
Sirs, please, I can't sleep.
I can
go
help you.
mad.
I can help with that. Whack.
I love the idea that we're all just role playing as the other like prison inmates and stuff.
I guess I will not. I will just attempt to kind of sit down and short rest.
Certainly.
Yep, he's gonna go insane.
You find yourself on a small straw mat. It's barely a cushion against the hard stone floor beneath you. As you take a seat, lean gently against the wall, finally get a breath, collect the events that just transpired. Could have gone better, you think. However, a strange twist of fate. This place seems to have a sort of fortune for magic users. You don't know what fate exactly is in store for you, but it is sure to be interesting. As you lean your head against the wall, turning it ever so slightly so as to kind of gather better resting leverage, if you will, more comfortable angle. Your gaze rests on the neatly carved, almost stone marble. You're not exactly sure what material it is. You're not a stonemason. However, upon its face, engraved the same runes you saw on the runes near the holy water site. Intricate, intertwining, overlapping, yet never repeating. Detail in infinite. And as you watch on, a very faint glow begins to seep through the cracks. Perhaps it was there all along, you only needed to look closer. A faint bluish white.
The markings themselves are glowing?
Yes, through the stones.
I'll go over and kind of you said the same markings as the fountain that we wasted the holy water?
Yes.
Okay.
The ornate, immaculately well-preserved stone structure that surrounded that site is remarkably similar to the one you're currently resting your head on.
To be fair, Marcus wouldn't know that because he wasn't there.
Oh, true. Yeah.
This is true. My bad. You have no idea what this reminds you of. It is very interesting, though. It's up to you whether to act on it, though. Just let me know, and we'll pass back to your companions in the jungles.
I guess I will just kind of go over and examine it. Maybe try and...
Touch it.
I'm tempted to touch it, but sometimes
Touch it.
these kind of
Do it.
things have limited charges. I'm just going to make note of it for now. I'm going to try and gauge what I can from an Arcana check, and then I'll probably
Certainly.
just short rest.
Roll me an Arcana check.
Wham.
With a 15 in Arcana, you rub your eyes ever so slightly, still fatigued from the day's affairs, and reeling from the sights you're seeing before you. It may take more time before you are able to coherently decipher the runes before you, but in gist, it is extremely clear, even on the outset, that these are magical in nature, quite possibly arcane. yet like nothing you've ever seen before.
All right. I will try and touch it, actually.
Okay.
I want to
So
try
you
and
know
interact with it.
Just so you know, your face was resting on the wall. It was lined with these things. But how would you like to interact with it now?
Rub it. Rub your face on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Real good.
Summon the genius.
I'm gonna lay my hand.
Bust through the door.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna lay my hand flat against the wall, kind of in a concentration of the markings, and just kind of focus on it as if I was, using a magic item or invoking a spell stored in a scroll, and just kind of try and decipher what it is, even if I have to expend it or proc it to use it.
Sure. You're opening yourself up to the potential magical reserves. Any kind of interesting interaction that might take place here is, unfortunately, slightly lost on you as you kind of reach forward and perform some very simple somatic seals in the air and on the wall, gently tracing them. It doesn't appear to be doing anything.
Okay.
Lick it.
When rubbing doesn't work, go for the licking.
I'm gonna cast.
Grind it up and snort it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me all that arcade.
I'm gonna cast.
If I get a better arcade check that way.
Actually, I'm gonna walk back up to the front of the cell.
Yeah.
And ask the guards, just which one is closest. I say, excuse me, do you know anything about the arcane markings back here?
Yeah, you address one of the guards. Let me roll to determine the disposition. The guard kind of looks at you full on, turns his entire head to face you. In fact, another one of the guards grabs his shoulder and kind of just shakes his head and says, I'm sorry, I don't think we're supposed to talk to you right now.
That's fine. Is it okay if I use one of my spells to kind of try and gain some insight to what that is? I'm just very curious.
He looks at the man next to him, shakes his head again. I'm sorry. If everything goes well for you, you'll have plenty of time to do as much research as you like. That is why you're here.
Understood. I guess I'll just rest then. And so in an attempt to kind of stay in their good graces, I'm just going to sit back down, kind of rest my head on the wall, maybe pull out some scraps of paper and a pen that I might have, and just kind of start putting the finishing touches on the family spell. This is not in my spell book, but just kind of redoing the math, if you will, on that. Just one last double check.
Yeah,
and then attempt to short rest.
One of the guards, just occasionally showing the mildest occasion of annoyance as the scribbling in the cell intensifies into the late hours of the night. But Marcus does so.
May I roll hit dice?
For a short rest, absolutely. And as you take your short rest, we're going to go back to our companions in the jungle.
Is David here? He said BRB.
Oh, did he? My apologies, I didn't hear him.
David.
Well, he put it in chat because you all were talking.
I am back.
So I was gonna say it's okay. I'll pick him up and we can walk together.
Very nice.
Kill him like a babe.
I wished I was that strong in game. I'm very weak.
All right. As we return to our companions in the jungle, the chase continuing. As you make your ways further northwest, Sly leading the way, his yellow eyes flickering in the night, as he leads you deftly through these jungles, not as a ranger would, but as one might attempting to avoid ruthlessly trampling on all he holds dear. As you're led down a series of pathways, which you begin to realize are game trails, Sly, you realize you've been here before. On many of your wanders throughout the jungles of Ascanti, such paths are known as the Witcher's Way. A series of ancient pathways, no one knows who created them, who first forged the paths, but they are sacred to your people. They are safe. You rolled quite well on your perception checks, and you make out the distinct druidic markings along ancient dead trees lining the pathway, and occasional ancient standing stones, showing you the way to Sanctuary. Though to which sanctuary this is in particular, you are uncertain.
My poisonous friend, how do you know where we're going?
Do not worry. We are in the Witcher's Way. We will be safe soon. Follow me.
Is this
And,
your home?
Do we
Not
still
quite.
hear the ringing?
Apologies, what, David?
Do we still hear the
Peal of whistles?
whistle?
They are growing exceptionally distant. It seems in the past few minutes, especially, somehow you've put an exceptional amount of distance between you and them.
Good. good.
Sly kind of like looks up and like just kind of like clutches his fist and like puts it to his heart and then just like kind of nods and then like keeps moving, following the druidic trail.
Excellent. Are you guys still keeping up a decent pace?
I would say if we don't. I said if we didn't hear the whistles, that we should probably slow down to take in our surroundings more. But I don't know if y'all
that's
want to do
fair.
that.
Did you? Okay, sorry, I briefly missed it. So we could still hear the whistle, but it was much fainter, right?
Yes, just barely.
Barely fainter. Okay, why don't we? Okay, so you said like we were trying not to be destructive. Are we still leaving a pretty clear path besides the path that has obviously been previously made? Like,
Now you can almost think of yourself as on a game trail. If you did come this way, it would be difficult to make out your tracks among all the others.
okay, so let's continue moving until we get to the sanctuary. And let's just go ahead and finish putting this distance between us if we're not being,
Gonna
you
say,
know,
like-
obvious about our movement here.
Are we? I was gonna say, are we just gonna be like? We're not in like a full run.
No.
We're just kind of like
Yeah.
traveling.
Okay.
Yeah. So general travel speed now.
You begin to slow your pace to a hasty walk, essentially power walking this game trail now.
Power walking the game trail.
Our boots will be amazing at the end of this.
As Sly leads the way, you guys having to curb, especially the monk, their pace slightly to accompany him. However, you do note the sudden shift in biomes. As opposed to the darkened jungle full of strange creatures and horrors, you begin to see a light ambience of fireflies.
Ooh.
Strange, flickering werelights in the darkness. Purples, blues, yellows. The trees around you begin to almost reach,
Get out.
hugging the pathway. You couldn't see the stars now, even if you wanted to. The only light is the ones you carry with you, and the few fireflies that happen to dot the pathway itself. After a few moments, let's say another 30, 40 minutes of travel, you begin to hear a strange, almost whispering, chittering sound over the din of insects. And
Very sorry. Cookie was climbing on shit she shouldn't have been on. So.
You're good. Do you need me to re-summarize for you?
It cut off when you got to purples and yeah, that was pretty much where I had to stop
certainly.
paying attention.
Yeah, just an entirely different din of atmosphere now. Like there's lots of like multicolored insects and strange lights in the darkness. The trees around you have almost grown like a protective canopy, like the trees are hugging the pathway.
Is it like very whimsical, like kind of like glowing mushrooms and stuff like that, or is it like? Okay.
Yeah, it is beginning to grow more esoteric and alien. And
would you say this is Fey-like?
Those of you who like to roll a nature check might be able to tell.
No,
I will do so.
I am the nature man. Who apparently
Natural 2.
The nature man. Also, guys, in about 6 minutes, I'm going to go pull out my lasagna. At that point, we're going to take a short, probably 5-10 minute break, and then we're going to get back to it, okay?
Lasagna.
And you guys can use that to use the restroom, whatever you want to do. I apologize, I wasn't scrolling down enough. Sly with a 12 in nature, Soul with a 4. Sly, you don't know that this is Fae, per se. This has always just kind of been the way of the Witcher's way. It's just another part of the jungle, so far as you are aware, and in your mind, it is a natural extension of your way of life. It doesn't feel to you like another plane of existence, even if it might be starting to become one.
Sure.
Soul, especially not.
I am distracted by the beauty of it all.
You think it's very pretty, and you're like, wow, I guess we're wanting into a really nice area of the jungle now.
Hope those shrooms don't come out and attack me again.
And as I said earlier, Corin may have missed it. There's this strange, almost like airy, whispery chitter.
Like bug chittering or like
sure.
scurrying.
It's just kind of barely audible, just on the wind, just kind of this racorous chittering.
I'm picturing like, have any of you all seen like Princess Mononoke?
I have not.
That's a good movie, yeah.
The little the little bobbleheads.
Oh yeah, okay.
That was the first thing I came to mind, like after you described that. So.
All right. Do you guys continue this way?
Sly will be all for it.
Okay.
I have no idea where the hell we are, so I mean I might as well.
I am following the frog.
Follow the frog. It's a good idea.
He knows where he's going, ish. So.
Okay. At this point, you're beginning to feel the tolls of your journey beginning to wear on you. You are now traveling into the night. I want all of you to be rolling me Constitution saving throws to stay off exhaustion.
I am absolutely amazing at those.
Decent enough.
Okay.
Better than I normally do.
That'll do.
Believe it or not, the DC is 13. All of you succeed.
Oh!
All right. As you all press onward, the strange alien sights and sounds and a growing strange exotic smell beginning to fill your nostrils, egging you on to go further and further in. As the strange chittering you heard in the air begins to resolve itself slightly as you walk further in. A giggle decidedly feminine, or perhaps some kind of high-pitched male voice. Many of them. A sonorous cacophony, gently drifting over the trees. It's not an unpleasant sound, but it
And
is
we
new.
all hear this, right? Is it
Oh,
all
yes.
the same to us?
You don't know. You don't know if it's all the same to you, amongst each other, that is. But I'm not
Right.
describing it differently to any of you.
Okay.
Does it feel threatening?
No, in
More
fact,
welcoming, yeah.
yeah, it seems rather charming, honestly.
So Sly, what's going on?
Don't worry, this is just part of the forest, unlike any of the rest, except for, I mean, better, simply. Save for more beautiful.
I mean, it's really cool looking over here, but I'm a little concerned.
There's no reason for.
I mean, I'm happy to be here.
This
This
is a
great.
very beautiful
There's-
area.
They're sacred to our people.
Okay.
You are not in danger.
When Fly says I'm not in danger, Soul relaxes a lot.
I'm just thinking to myself, like, well, he might not be in danger, but I'm not a druid, so.
Monk's close enough to Druid anyway. Who's to say?
Okay.
Sly will be like looking for the insects he heard earlier, and like looking for the tastiest ones that he remembers and trying to pluck some off the trees as he goes.
Are we able to take a short rest?
Right here.
No.
We're almost
Yeah,
there.
I don't know if like we're being compelled forward is what I'm getting at. Like, could we rest if we wanted to?
Mm.
Right in the middle of the path. Come on. We're almost there.
You guys have rolled your Constitution saving throws for one more hour of travel, so it's up to you whether to continue on or make a short rest here.
Oh, interesting. In that case, then it might be smart. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, then that's what I was trying to figure out if
I didn't
the
realize you were about
forest
to
would
make
even
another
let
save.
us rest, or is it like compelling us forward?
Sure.
You know. Because even if we want to rest, we might not be able to because it might be like, hey, come here, we have candy.
Do they have a big white van at the end of the road? That'd be awesome.
Tree, and it's just like,
Okay.
Why
You
don't
guys stop on the wayside near a number of pine trees that almost seem to reach out in a sort of caress. You know these as wayward pines. They form almost a natural sort of shelter from wind, rain, any number of harmful elements, really, Sly. As you begin to take your short rest, and we will return to that in a few moments as I get my lasagna.
Go beans.
Everybody take your
All
breaks.
Alright.
Blue
Also,
calculus problems.
who has the lowest amount of health?
I've got
I'm
25.
full HP.
Sly, I can give you a cure wounds if you want.
Do you get all your stuff back on short rests?
I haven't used my cure wounds today.
Oh, interesting. I mean, it's sure. I mean, I have 5 hit dice still, so, and I'm only 13 down.
I don't
Okay,
get
if you're
spell
not-
slots back until a long rest, right?
I do get my key back though, so I'll have full key for combat stuff.
Why don't you save it just in case?
Okay.
So that way, if we can get to like a long rest point or something, but like, in case there is anything that happens to happen in the way, we have something.
Yeah, I won't take the short rest stuff until we get there though. Until he says, "All right, you've taken a short rest," and then I'll have my key back.
Yep.
But in case we need it, I can always use produce flame. I haven't used my burning hands today, I still have that as well.
Yeah, I've got one. I've got 1 second level and 1 first level.
Yeah, I've
the
got
first
burning
level
hands,
really
produce
needs to
flames,
be
and
to go
yeah.
towards create or destroy water. So really just a second level left.
I got 20 darts. I can throw stuff. Don't worry, I got your back.
I'll be right back.
Alright, we'll also be right back.
2,000 years later.
And we're back.
Hello and welcome back to the
Now, we did this once before,
Broken
Caleb.
Road podcast.
Okay, good.
Today we're going to be talking about our newest addition to the party, who is actually recently wandered off into a cave and been abducted by random magi. Apparently of his own accord, though we're not sure.
It was a persuasion check,
Rerolls
not a
ready?
deception check. Okay. So, let me get the music back on.
I don't know, this is pretty jamming
Yeah,
music.
I was about to say, it was starting to pick up. Now I got to go
Oh,
back
man,
to the
yeah.
dreary cave.
I mean,
music
I mean, Jimi Hendrix already slaps, and then we just like make it medieval, and it's so good.
Heck yeah.
Maybe I'll leave a link to the Watch Together. Austin, if you can DM me any playlists that you use in this session, I'll throw them in the description of the video so that people
Sure.
can follow along.
I got like a few songs. I'll have to try to figure that out after.
Okay.
Okay. Are we doing this or Elm Shore, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Back to the Travelers of the Jungle. Soul, Sly, and Frost. You guys begin to make camp in a I think like 3 trees. I said something like that. All grouped together, called wayward pines, that form a sort of protective canopy. These are quite frequent on the Witcher Ways. As you guys set up, begin to deploy your bags just to get an hour's worth of rest. Over the din of noise, or rather perhaps under it, you hear a very low, melodic singing. Startlingly close.
This is after we wake up from the short rest?
No, this is as you guys are getting ready to short rest.
before,
This is,
got it.
this is during your short rest.
Does anyone else hear that singing?
Is it anything I would recognize?
Sure, roll me a nature check. You're good at those, right?
Supposedly. But the roll was average.
About as good as I am with constitution checks.
Knowing what you know about this area, it could be any number of things, most of which are thankfully friendly for the most part.
I'm going to stand up from the little twig that I was leaning against.
We should immediately assume it's the one dangerous thing it could have been.
And I'll just kind of waddle over to where I think I hear the sound, just kind of very passively, slowly, not trying to frighten whatever it is that may be approaching us or that's so nearby.
Is it is it feminine or is it?
Yes, it is a lone, feminine singing voice in a language that I don't think any of you speak. What languages do you guys speak?
I speak common and lawyer.
Excellent.
Lawyer?
Excellent. Do you actually speak Do you actually speak Legalese? Legalese, I should say.
You told me I could take it, so I took it.
Oh
You can
That's
take
amazing.
Legalese, absolutely. Great. I didn't think you'd actually do it.
I speak
Just
only
made
player
Austin
on
tonight.
the-
I'm
is,
literally
is,
a bounty hunter, so I figured I should be able to talk myself out of legal
Here's why you
troubles,
shouldn't
so-
arrest me for murder.
Yeah. The only other player I've actually had take that as a language when offered was Grail from Grail Gets You Gold.
Yeah, I was about to say, surely it had to be in Girl Get You Gold.
Which I don't know if you guys know about that game, but I'll have to tell you later. Yeah, okay. So yeah,
Does the
it is not speaking in legalese or common, Frost.
does it sound like it's happy or sad?
Roll me an insight check. That's a good question. That may be something you could determine without knowing the language.
I also roll an insight check. Also, I speak Common, Draconic, and Elvish.
Okay. Elvish is a subsidiary of Sylvan,
Ooh.
which sounds quite similar. So you make out some of the words as you listen. And it appears to be words. You can make out part of the verse discussing the beginning and ending of a season. In the next verse, a similarity is drawn between the ending of a season and the passing of a mortal's life. It is beautiful, yet there is a slightly sad undertone to it. You can't make out all the words, but the words you do make out are moving, to say the least. Roll me a charisma saving throw.
Me? Oh,
Yes.
no. Oh, I'm really good at those guys. 11.
Excellent. You
Let's
see
check your
Soul
happens.
go perfectly taut. His entire body straining, leaning, using his monk balance to almost kind of bend his head at a strange angle within your small pavilion of Wayward Pines to get a better listen, to get closer to the voice. Before you even notice what you're doing, Soul, you are pulling the boughs apart and walking through the shrubbery towards it.
I will take out my gladius to start cutting them down to get closer, faster.
Whoa, if he's cutting them down, I'll run up behind him and I'll be like, hey bro, hey. I try to grab, he doesn't have a shirt, so I'll grab the hem of his pants or whatever, and I'll be like, hey bro, cut it out with the sword, man. Hey, this is my territory, bro. What are you doing?
Does that pull me out of this? Whatever it is?
No. You're vaguely aware that Sly is grabbing you, and you're just kind of slowly struggling and walking that direction anyway.
Hey, will you come talk some sense into this guy, bro? Do you see what he's doing? He's tearing down this beautiful place. Come on me out, man. As I motion over to Frost.
I love how I'm the only one who gets this treatment because I'm the only one who understands a bit of the verse. Why does Soul always have the worst luck?
So I'm gonna try something. Can I take out Instrument of Illusion and try and harmonize with the song and create an image of, I don't know.
Oh my goodness, that's a brilliant idea.
See, I don't know that it's Sylvan though, so that's why I was trying to ask if it was a happy or a sad sounding song.
Yeah, I would say
and feminine.
it sounds a little sad.
Okay.
Just the way the tones drop at the end of a verse.
Can I create an image of just a I would say I don't know, so I'm gonna use Soul because he's obviously captivated. A Ganassi, kind of in almost white and not regal clothing, but obviously I guess an Earth Ganassi.
Sure.
Would I even know what one of those is?
Roll me an Arcana check.
Do you even
Sure.
know what I am?
You absolutely know what an Earth Ganassi is.
I'm just gonna take I was gonna say if I didn't, I was just gonna take his. I'm gonna put vines and stuff on a picture of him basically. So yeah, just singing to him, in hopes that he's captivated by the instrument. And so a lot of the visual effects are very
it's
smoky and
certainly.
I guess,
Are you trying to emulate the Ganassi you're showing singing, miming the?
So basically, like I'm wanting to play the flute to harmonize with the
Right.
song being sung,
Mhm.
but I'm trying to give something for him to kind of like latch onto. Does that make
Right,
sense?
so he doesn't go towards the actual source. Yeah, I understand
Yes.
absolutely. Roll me a performance check.
Boom.
Ooh, that's a really high performance.
Pretty
Jeez.
nice.
I mean, he's got a +8.
You see Frost raise his flute, and a peal of wind music gently flows out the flute, bounces between the trees, and lands upon your ears, Soul. And as the flute peals out, you hear the voice abruptly stop. As Soul, you just kind of you regain your senses as you're looking at the Ganassi. It somehow felt hollow to you for some reason as you slowly reached for it. As the singing suddenly just nothing.
I really hope it
all the
is off.
insects, no ambience whatsoever. Utter silence.
Oh
in the air.
no.
At the utter silence, I'm actually going to cast Produce Flame and wrap my fist around it.
Okay.
Sly's like, dude, put that out. Are you about
What?
to start the force stun over here, man?
As
No.
you do so, Soul, you hear a number of muted squeaks and screams from nearby fauna. Like,
I'm just in a very defensive
I will
stance.
touch you and you will die. You better put that away right now, man.
I'm sorry, Slice. I think it's compelling me forward, and I don't know whether or not it was friendly.
Well, I don't care if you are compelled or not. Put your stuff away, my guy.
I'll turn down the intensity
do
of
I
the flames, but they're
notice-
still definitely like ignited, ready to punch something in the face.
Do I notice the stopping of like the singing?
yeah, it's
Okay.
like the atmosphere around you is dead quiet, and you're not sure whether it's terrifying or somehow accompanying. I guess something is inviting your music, as you
Okay.
haven't played any more flute since the voice stopped.
Listen to me, bro. If you really think it's dangerous, do you really want to be as hostile to it?
Well, I also don't want it to have its way with me.
You're a freaking monk. You use your fist. You don't need that freaking sword and your flames, right? Come on, man.
I'll put the sword away, but the flames are
Go,
staying.
count to 3. 1, 2.
Can I?
Is that like
can I
raising
start-
my fingers? Like about to touch you?
I stow the sword, but the flames stay somewhat lit, because if the produce flames I can concentrate on for 10 minutes.
Put that freaking out, bro.
We also need light.
Warning.
I won't. Sly,
Yeah,
I
you
promise
don't-
you I won't burn any of the
PvE.
forest.
PvP.
I promise I won't burn any of the forest.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
At that point, I'll call out in Elvish.
I
I know
wondered.
they understand Elvish. I promise not to burn your forest if you come out. I won't burn it anyway because my friend here doesn't want me to, but
Sure.
I'd rather not get violent.
You hear a string of smooth, if slightly, boors, perhaps for a little provincial Elvish, escape Soul's mouth as he rings out the warning and ultimatum to the surrounding sylvan creatures. Roll me a persuasion, actually intimidation.
I knew it. I knew it was gonna be intimidation. Dadgummit.
It's the same anyway, so. I would like to re-roll that.
By what means?
The Laura Bailey technique. Oh, okay.
All right, so I start playing my flute again, and then I want the image to throw a flower at Soul in disgust.
Nice.
Yeah, so with Draconic Disciple, I can reroll a charisma check until I pass, essentially.
That's sick.
What the heck?
That's actually disgusting. What?
Wow.
I can only use it. I can't use it until a long rest if it turns a failure into a success. So there is a limit.
You use
But I
your
can turn
reaction
one
for your
check
check.
into a success.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, 13, much better than before.
There's gradients of success, so I would say this is a success.
Okay, I can no longer use Draconic Disciple for the rest of the day then.
All right.
Well, I can still use like the change damage type, but I can't use that feature part of it. So
You see, as Soul holds the flame about him, a tiny, diminutive, fluttering form emerge, almost as though it wasn't even there. Just like apparates out of thin air directly in front of you, perhaps 10 feet directly above one of the bushes. You see, it is a small, winged humanoid with long, pointy ears, spiky green hair, and while feminine in demeanor, the features of a male. You think? You can stop this. We don't mean you any harm.
That's what I've been. Wait, is this in common or Sylvan?
This is common.
That's what I've been trying to tell him. He won't listen to me. I was about to slap the sense out of him until he would put out that flame.
when they say they mean no harm, then I put out my flames. That's all I ask. I don't like being controlled, so to speak.
I, for the one, did not mind it, and I thought your singing was very beautiful. And I pick up any small flower I can find off the ground, and try and like hold it out in my hand so that like I'm only touching the very bottom of it, so as not to like make it where she has to touch my hand to take the flower. But I try and find a very small flower and kind of like hold it up to her and say like,
the small sprite in front of you appears to be male.
"Oh, male, okay." I say,
Give him a roll.
I appreciate the performance that you had. It was.
No, it wasn't me. I would never seek to take credit for she and Reed's. You must be. I've heard of you. He who tames fire. He points at you, Sly.
Well, I do have something of a reputation around here. I try and tame the fire and stop it from turning down our home.
I am Thistle and Thigh. He bows, a nervous sort of simple little pirouette in the air. His wings gently fluttering, certainly not buzzing the way an insect's might, as though they barely have to flap at all to keep him aloft.
The pleasure is mine, Thessalon.
So who was the one that did the singing?
Oh, she and Reed's. She's very shy. Also, well, probably best not to meet her. Mr. Tames Fire, you likely know of her. She is a nymph, sir. Very dangerous to mortal folk to behold.
Oh, absolutely, I understand. Well, send her my regards. I very much appreciated the melody that she gave to us this evening.
Oh, certainly. And you, sir, with the wonderful flute. She greatly loved your performance. He kind of holds his hands together.
I
In fact,
bow.
we were all hoping to hear more as he kind of gestures nervously to the surrounding trees. You kind of hear various giggles and murmurs.
Well, I'd be glad to. So would she mind if I used her song again? but changed it a little bit.
Uh, if you'd like, I can go ask.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take credit for something that is not originally mine. So as long as they're okay with it.
Pixelberry, go ask her really quick. I'll be here with our guests. See,
No copyright infringements in this D&D campaign.
No GMC strikes when I'm around.
he gently alights on a nearby branch as he kind of swings his knees nervously. Show me just a moment. Strange to see 3 individuals such as yourselves. You gave us quite a fright there, man with fire.
You can call me Soul.
Oh,
He can be a little bit feisty sometimes, but I try my best to keep him in check.
we are in the habit of the names of acting. If you wish to change your name, we would be more than happy to do so after we see you do something else. But until then, man with fire, where do you come from? Your hair is ablaze.
I hail from 2 places in my mind. The first being the plane of fire.
Oh, you kind of see him pale and shirk away at you.
The second, though, is what I would consider my true home. The Grey Coast.
I have not been to the Grey Coast. Is it, fanciful?
I wouldn't say fanciful, but it's home nonetheless.
I see. He kind of nervously glances in the direction of his female companion, who then appears with kind of violet, long hair. She would be delighted, and she says she will accompany you, if that is all right.
Wait, I thought we would die if we like.
No, she'll like sing.
No.
She'll
If we
sing with
saw
it.
Her.
Oh. Yeah. So.
I motion to Soul. I say, you better not act up again, or this time there will be no countdown. You will just die.
Well, if she starts singing, I can't really help it.
Well, then plug your ears, idiot.
But then I'll miss the performance.
I
Soul,
don't
Soul.
care.
You won't miss the performance. Stand in the center of the. Are we in like an outcropping or anything, or is it just like?
Yeah. This appears to be a very small clearing.
Okay.
Just right next to your wayward pines. Also, one thing that you noted as the silence has pervaded and you prepare to rejoin your music, a very faint trickling of water, almost like a bubbling brook.
Ooh. Perfect. Yeah. So if you'll stand in the center there for me real quick. So I'm gonna replay her song, but give it more of like a do any of you all know like classical music or anything like that?
I know
Tiny
a
bit.
little bit of classical music.
Do you all know composers? Like I was gonna reference Vivaldi's Four Seasons, like the spring one specifically.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
It's been a while since I've heard it, but yeah.
So I want to take the sadness portion of the song and get rid of it, but take the melody and all that stuff, and the imagery of the Ganassi dancing around Soul with like butterflies and whatnot.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Roll me another performance check as you're getting an assist from the nymph beyond the bushes.
All right.
Yeah. You better be plugging your ears, Soul.
So this is at advantage.
Hold on.
So roll one more time.
Ow.
18.
Man.
18's good, though. 18's good.
As the flute picks up the nymph's voice, carrying the tune with it, this time you detect a note of, shall we say, restraint in the nymph's voice. The sounds are indeed beautiful, yet not longing, not unrestrained, fey magic interspersed throughout. You feel yourselves in full control of your faculties, as much as can be said while listening to such wonderful tunes. As the performance concludes, the flute goes quiet, as does the voice. You hear chittering applause coming from all around you.
I bow.
The clapping of tiny hands. You honor us.
Well, you all
Flutist
are
of the Veil.
fantastic.
It is a interesting take, shall we say? A mortal song, I think. To forget and only know what is good. It is beautiful, though, shall we say, naive, a wonderful work of art. We would be honored to have you as our guest.
It is definitely naive, but there is a lot of anguish in this world. So every once in a while, we kind of need that naivety.
That naive hope that everything will be alright no matter what?
Yep, exactly. Well,
Not a
so
bad thing to hope for.
shall we be their guests? Be our guests. Be our guests.
I would
I'd like
certainly love to
nothing
be
but-
their guest.
Okay. Soul, are you of the mind as well?
Yes, I would love to be their guest.
Okay.
Be our
With that,
guests.
Be-
we will segue
Yes. Sorry.
to Isaac.
Yo.
One second, let me go get some different music. This will do. As the scribbling continues, your short rest concluded. You hear tapping of boots on the smooth, carved floor, walking towards you. You cannot quite tell through the little body barricade of the guards surrounding your cell. However, the cadence bears some similarity to the authority borne by the man you've come to know through Frost's conveyance as the Viper. He approaches the cell. His face shrouded in a hood. However, underneath which it is still impossible to conceal the horrid scarring, shriveled, warped, sickeningly green and yellow veins protruding from one side of his face. His eye serpentine, glowing yellow.
Singular?
Scarring. His other eye appears to be perfectly human. Dark, maybe brown, hard to tell. Our newest guest. The lieutenant here tells me that you had every intention of coming to assist us, though I cannot speak much to your intentions, as you do not deem yourself fit to reveal. He kind of holds up his hand, puts me in a bit of a predicament. I do not know who sent you, if you're a free agent or what have you. If you would answer a few questions for me, I would be much obliged.
Most certainly. You see Marcus he stood up and kind of came to the front when the figure of note, obvious figure of note, showed himself. But you see him kind of slipping into his old university, mannerism and kind of matching the mage to mage dialogue.
Wonderful. Kioth, if you would, you see another figure come up in white robes, bearing a holy symbol of some kind upon his chest, of which god You do not know. Without a religion check, if you wish to make it. In
Sure.
that case. Okay. Certainly. You're not sure.
Okay.
Though, judging by the robes, the lighter attire, hopefully benevolent, the man Keoth approaches. He lowers his white hood. His bulk, while astonishing under the hood, is even more apparent as he lowers it, as the snarling gape of a half-orc gazes back at you, two large barbed fangs protruding from his undermouth. All right. One moment. He grabs his holy symbol, muttering a few words as he presses his open palm to the ground. You see the arcane symbols on the ground begin to light up, almost in tandem, as overlapping over it, you see several golden sigils beginning to wrap themselves across the carved stones, as it now forms a circle in which you now stand.
I fight the urge to, teleport out of it, or, the combatant's urge to not be targeted, but you see me visibly kind of stay motionless, submitting to whatever this is.
You don't have your focus on you, do you?
I do,
Your
actually.
focus is embedded in him.
Oh.
Yeah, that was like his thing. Is that he's got like a pocket dimension in his arm.
As you feel a strange openness in your heart, a urge to sincerity. It's a little uncharacteristic, honestly. You know when to hold your tongue, and when it would be wiser to be polite, couth. As I need you to roll me a charisma saving throw, as the first question is asked,
I will,
who are you?
I will, what's the word? The word is, escaping me. I will submit to it. I will intentionally fail to save.
Excellent. You give yourself to the sincere spirit. The first question washing over you, who are you? The Viper asks.
My name is Marcus Fulmene, of the Fulmene family based in the Vindavobroska Academia de Novus Arcanum. You see kind of a hint of pride creep into his voice as he lists off his alma mater, as it were.
A complete title. I do recognize your family name. I believe you and, your father and I met at a certain convention some years ago. I visited Madrya once upon a time, attempting to serve in some form of tenure. Didn't work out. You can see his serpentine eyes narrow slightly. Now,
Can you repeat that last, Austin? He met him at a convention.
Yes, and he attempted to serve it on some kind of tenure on Madrya, but that didn't work out. Now he asks, what are you doing here?
Here in this place, or outside of Madrya in general?
What brought you here? He points to this location, aside from the obvious. You attempted to sneak in. That much is not in dispute.
Correct. Well, I was brought part way by who I can be fairly confident are your guards. When the group I ended up traveling with decided to investigate this site, my curiosity was piqued. I knew that your organization needed mages. I didn't know why, but my broader quest is to seek knowledge, to gain power, and thus, if I can accomplish that by aligning myself with you, not as a prisoner, but as an ally, as perhaps a contractor, as it were.
That may well be. In turn, first you will answer the remainder of my questions. What happened to the remainder of the patrol that you said brought you as far as they did?
Me and the one I was bound to, physically, my fellow prisoner, we were to make an escape, and then others who I had not met before joined in. I was about to simply escape to continue my quest, but they decided to band together, so I helped them. They didn't share much with me. I helped them get closer to this place for the means of seeing what was taking place for myself. When I ventured inside, as far as I know, my companions all escaped into the forest.
Keoth, he looks at his companion. He is bandying his words, but he speaks truth.
I'm sorry, Marcus wants to be as forthcoming as possible. Isaac Wright is a little bit confused as to what his question was.
Okay.
Work has been shoving a lot of info down my throat, so it's kind of...
Okay. I gotcha. Yeah. So
Where are your friends and what do they do?
yeah, basically. The next question is, what do you know of your short-time companion's intentions towards me and this place?
I know they're no friends to the Silverhawk. They, some more than others, seem vehemently opposed to them. I also know that by and large they fancy themselves a moral group. They wasted quite some time this morning. They wasted quite some time this past morning attempting to give one of the guards that had imprisoned me a way to leave, to abandon the Silverhawk out of some... What?
Said we're playing the long con.
Seriously, like,
Marcus-
a way to use them to our
Marcus, all that Marcus saw was this, like, misguided attempt at goodness.
Where Zoel's like, what can I get out of this guy if he's gonna live
Yeah,
anyway?
he saw that as a justification for the misguided attempt at goodness. But anyway, so I conceive them to be a bit of a moral group in their own eyes, but I only spent the one night with them. We didn't discuss any overarching plans. There was the Dragonborn I was tied to. He, from what I understand, was following me closely, perhaps to get inside as well. The others, I don't know what their agenda is or where they went.
From what you understand of what you saw of them, would you briefly describe each skill set, race, and what you know of their nationality?
Oh man.
There is... And did Marcus... I'm trying to think how much combat ensued before he made a break for inside the tunnel. Did Marcus see Soul shooting fire?
You wouldn't have seen me do anything resembling that, because the first time we fought with each other was at the camp, and you were turned the other way when I used my fire breath, and then you were already on the inside when I burned 3 guys to the ground.
Okay. Alright, and I saw Kane a little bit.
I honestly don't think you've actually seen Soul in combat. You just...
No, that's the thing. By the time you started throwing hands, I was like 20 feet back in the tunnel.
The
Same
only
with
thing that you had seen, like,
same with Frost, honestly.
previously was
The tentacles.
well, no, when from Soul and I believe, is when I had Soul inside of my darkness, I started flinging fire out of it.
Oh, okay.
No, you
and-
shot rocks, right?
No, I
It was a
mean
kind of
I
meteor thing?
firebolted 2 people.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And
He wouldn't have
Tim
seen that because he was running the
flinging-
other way.
Yeah,
Well, that's what I was
I would
saying.
have.
Is like he might have. That's the only thing he might have even seen. But
Right.
he wouldn't have known that it was from you or me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I would say I alluded to a.
Arrogant because he hasn't seen us fight.
Yeah, and like we were like both like way in the like trees at a certain point.
Yeah.
So like he wouldn't have even known who came from what.
So actually, Isaac could have seen because I did use Mel's Minute Meteors,
Ooh.
the first fight, but I
Yeah.
didn't use all of them, so they would have been circling around like my wrists.
Ah.
Yep. You saw the minute meteors, and you also saw the aftermath of Kane's eldritch.
Yeah, the tentacles, the hunger of
Yeah.
Hadar.
Yes.
Yes.
The
You
stars,
see,
the
Kane,
stars
if you-
found
you've seen the
them.
spellcaster.
Did he-
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
I was
so
about to
if
say-
you know Mel's Minute Meteors, then you would at least be able to infer like that I can cast.
Right. Austin, do you use the spell names in your world, or should I come up with some more colorful way to put it?
Yeah,
Okay.
for the most part, I do.
Okay. Because I have expertise in Arcana, so I would probably
Absolutely.
list off the names. All right.
Certainly.
So
Melf's minute meteors. Is it a wizard spell? I believe it is.
It's a wizard sorcerer spell, I believe.
might need to pick it up, honestly.
At what level?
It's fun.
Probably third, if I had to guess.
Third,
Really?
Yeah, it's third.
Okay. I was gonna say
And you are a what level wizard?
I am a 5th.
Okay, yes. If you are, one of the rules I have is if you are expertise in Arcana, and it is a spell within your class, at your level or below, you know it.
Okay.
Or you know of its existence. Yes, so you know that was Melf's minute meteors, for sure.
Okay. All right. So I would turn to them and say, the one I'm most familiar with is the Dragonborn I was tied to. He was a white Dragonborn. He seemed to be, if I had to guess, probably in the service of some eldritch being. He conjured some form of tentacles, probably from the astral plane, to attack I believe it was the guards that were holding us. He also used a dagger that looked to be styled after a tentacle to cut the 2 of us free. Did I already say he was...
How did he get the dagger?
It appeared to apparate at his will, because he dispelled it afterwards.
Thank
Did
you.
I?
You've been most helpful.
And
You see him jotting something down on a notepad.
and DM, did I already say that he was a white dragonborn?
Yes, you did.
Okay. There were some others. There was
You never saw flying combat, period.
right. That's the thing. Did Sly heal somebody? The guard or something the night before?
You did,
No.
yeah.
Okay.
I healed him because I had cure wounds.
No,
Okay.
Soul did, got it. You know Soul can heal, actually.
There was a humanoid, probably human. He looked a bit. No, wait, no. I was thinking of. No, there was another human. I suspect he is the one who cast darkness. There was a sphere of darkness as I was first making my escape, and some firebolts were coming through
wait.
it.
Would you have seen the spear?
He would have seen. He might have noticed the spear, but he definitely wouldn't have seen the fireballs because he was already bolting at
Well,
that
the
time.
thing is,
We fired
like-
it after we saw the disturbance.
Does
I
he
mean-
have dark vision enough to where he can discern between like pitch darkness and just like regular
True.
darkness?
Yeah, I don't have dark vision, actually. Okay, so retract that. There was a human. I didn't see his capabilities. There was a grung who hadn't done much in my sight, but he kept saying, "You touch me, you die," so potentially a necromancer, someone well-equipped with
Yeah,
plenty
no,
of
You die.
necrosis.
That's typical of Grun. They don't like being touched.
Hmm.
You've been most helpful. Is that all you have to offer?
There was one other, a fire ganassi. I didn't see what he did, but he did take the lead in interrogating one of your men this morning. He seemed very familiar with martial arts. He would punch the guard when necessary.
I don't think I ever punched him. Like, I had my foot on his chest, and that was about it.
Oh, okay.
He
I
bore
would-
himself like someone who is skilled in the martial.
Yes.
You punched him with your feet.
That's just how skilled I am at punching.
arts.
I
can't punch you
heard-
with my feet.
I heard
We're almost done.
I heard the combat as I was making my way inside, but to my understanding, there was more that happened that I did not see.
But you failed to answer another question of mine. What are you doing here? Why are you here specifically?
I seek knowledge. I seek to broaden my understanding of magic in its nature, and how to bend it to my will.
He nods slowly. Do you believe that such a cause is worth any sacrifice?
Any sacrifice could mean myself, and if I am cast to oblivion, what was the point? But beyond that, the pursuit of power is worth any price that I can pay.
Self-preservation on this one. He looks at his half-orc. Very good. You will do. Now, the final thing you will say is that you bear no ill will towards me or any of my companions in the Silver Hawk, and that you will not attempt to escape.
I look him dead in the eyes and say, I, Marcus Fomene, give you my word on my house. I mean you, nor any of your people, any harm, nor the Silverhawk, insofar as they are connected with you. I do not wish to escape, unless I deem that I have learned everything you can teach me, but I believe that that will not happen.
No, we got to kill Marcus.
At least not. Sorry, let me rephrase that for a moment. That last phrase.
Okay.
I do not intend to escape unless there is nothing else I can learn, and I believe that at that point we will be allies. I believe at that point it will not be an escape.
Marcus Filmene, I believe we can work together. As he looks at Kioth, and Kioth nods his affirmative, that you are speaking the truth, and that is, you are speaking the truth, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I can't cast glibness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh! No, sorry.
They take a step back and nod towards the guards. The guards undo the twine binding your wood-thatched prison in place. The door swings open. With a slight groan as Marcus Fulmine, you are released.
Can we retcon and say I did tell them about the Melf's Minute Meteors as well?
Oh yeah, you were going through all that stuff, so
Yeah.
I assume everything you saw you informed them of. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay.
And then as they open the door, I say, pardon the rudeness, but might I trouble you to step in this zone of truth and give me your word that you will not sacrifice me?
Kioth about to undo the zone of truth, looks at his master. Roll me a persuasion check,
Okay.
Marcus.
I want a
Money,
natural
no
one. I want to
whammies.
see a 0 on this. I want to see a 0.
I'm actually really curious to see what happens if he rolls well.
I don't know if it's not going through or if... Okay.
Zero.
Dang it, David, you called it!
Wow. Wow.
Dadgummit!
Feels bad.
This is what happens when you betray the party.
Absolutely bad.
He looks at you,
And they say karma's not real.
scoffs a little bit. Keoth, undo the zone. Marcus, this relationship is not mutual. You are in subservience to me, and if you earn your place, with that self-preservation I saw earlier, then I will vow not to harm a hair on your person. As of now, we have proven at least your immediate sincerity. Though mad mages are often prone to instability and changes of heart, aren't they? You will forgive me for being skeptical. As he steps away,
That is fair and acceptable, I say. As he leaves.
he points towards two of the guards. They will be your escort. They will be watching your every move. If you do anything unacceptable in their eyes, they have every right to execute you on the spot.
Understood.
Very good. Keoth, show him the facilities.
Unacceptable!
As the Viper turns, a single yellow eye flashing under the hood, as he turns his back to you and departs down the hallway. You gathering your bearings, stretching your legs, as one of the guards approaches you, giving back to you your pack with everything in it. And that is where we will end for Marcus. And we're going to go back to the other party for a little bit, and then we're going to end for the night, because I can't go for too much longer.
Okay.
As you are led by the fairies through the woods, you feel light, as though all ounce of weariness has begun to leave your body. They're giggling, the music flowing through your ears. At one point, a goblet of silver is passed from lip to lip, filled with some kind of golden nectar. You don't know if it's alcoholic, but it leaves you feeling warm and buzzing all the same.
Ooh.
Yet, still aware, perfectly stimulated by everything you see around you. As you pass into the heart of the forest, you see massive wooden structures built into the trees. Fey cabins, houses, mansions with rope bridges spanning the gaps between the trees. Halls alit with pale blue lights. Streamers flapping in winds that seem to arise from nowhere. You are taken to the heart of the hall. You see many strange individuals. Some of them, most of them, elf-like in nature, of varying stature, some tall, some short. Some strange women with green skin who meld with trees as you pass by. They look at you, wink, and giggle as they pass from view. You see them emerge from the other side of the tree and pass through another. You are treated to the finest hospitality that young Thistle and Thigh and Pixelberry can muster. However, you are informed that, though you are honored guest, you bear fire, and the Lord of the Hall will not see you.
Hey, I'm not always on fire.
Nice going.
I'm not literally always on fire.
You find respite in goose down beds. You feel every ounce of it wearing sinking from your bones into the bed frame itself. As that's what we're going to end the session. Everybody, thank you so much for playing. Sorry I had to end a little bit early. I'm super tired. I'm running on 7 hours of sleep since yesterday night. So night before last, I should say, I guess. But and I have to do tomorrow morning, so I gotta go to bed. But everybody, thanks for playing. We're gonna have MVP, and then we're going to adjourn. Thank you.
Now we need a new character from Isaac again.
Yeah, I've got an
How do you
idea.
keep betraying the party?
I don't know. It's just fun. I'm setting up a poll, by the way.
This song is banging though. What
To
song
be
is
fair,
this?
like him giving up information, like I mean, it is in character, like it's self-preservation and all. So it's like he doesn't exactly have loyalty to the party.
Yeah, I hope we managed the pacing reasonably well. It always gets a little bit sloggy when there's more than one party, but I thought it was alright.
I mean, I had fun.
I was really fine with it.
Cool.
So what happened?
So it didn't be our polls.
20 minutes.
Yeah, I assume she was gonna make that. Oh wait, where did you join it at?
I think you were threatening somebody.
I was threatening somebody.
Yeah, somebody was threatening somebody.
I was threatening somebody because I lost control of my character and I hate it.
So essentially, we were like trying to figure out what to do in the forest. I rolled really good on perception after I casted dark vision on myself, and then we found what I believe is called a Witcher's Way, which was essentially like a druidic path that's sacred to my people. That had none of our characters rolled well enough, but it had a lot of kind of fake characters, like fireflies, purple lights, glowing mushrooms, that kind of thing. And then we encountered what we later found out to be a nymph who was singing a song and started entrancing Soul.
That was the only one who understood the song, somewhat.
Understood Sylvan, because it's a published descent. And then he got charmed. I tried to hold him back. He started cutting through the trees, trying to get to it, and lit his hand on fire. And
I lit my hand on fire after the trance was broken by
yeah.
Frost, and I was like, yeah, no, don't do this to me.
Yeah, Frost ended up making an illusion with minor illusion. Or no, it was the bard thing.
It's instrumental illusion, so yes, it's a yes, I guess.
Yeah, so we played a tune and created Ganassi that kind of distracted David a little bit, but more importantly, all the noise, the buzzing of the insects, all of it stopped as soon as he started playing his illusion, so the charm was working. And then David was like, I won't light this entire forest on fire as long as you show yourself or whatever. A little fairy came out, I believe that's the day.
Yeah, I'll actually post the names for you guys. So the nymph, almost all of the names are like acts or descriptions. So Sheen Reeds is the nymph.
Makes sense. Whereas I have Man of Fire. I like that name actually.
But yeah, let me know when and I'll post the poll. It'll be open for 2 minutes. Should be enough time, and then the results will post. Actually, I'll change that to 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm ready, so.
Cool. Where we vote again, sir?
BR polls?
MVP for BR polls, yeah.
Okay. Is that a poll yet to be posted?
Yeah, I'll post it right now. Oops.
Okay.
Is it
Yes. We had approximately 4 players, so.
I think that's about where I
Yeah.
And yeah, no worries about Kane. He'll be here next session if you want him to be. But he is.
Unless he died in the forest.
Well,
He's in the jangle.
I need to hear the excuse for why it would be here.
Yeah, or you'll hear next session if you wish to hear.
You was hit that by the fairies.
Yeah, well, I kind of want to know in
I
case
knew they were evil.
Okay, make a soul frost life. Con!
Why am I in the vote? I wasn't in the session.
The poll requires at least 5 entries for some reason.
Out of nowhere.
So yeah, it looks like Frost.
Yeah, that was a great breaking my charm and then performing so we've become honored guest. I actually like that a lot.
I definitely didn't expect the second part of it. That's for sure. So
Yeah, that was so cool. I love that so much.
Yeah, got to see the performance role from Frost, which is really interesting. You don't typically see that on a Warlock. Very cool.
Sorcerer with the Warlock kit.
Apparently.
No, I'm playing it. I don't know what he is, guys. Okay, guys. Very cool. So, looking like Frost got it. So everybody, actually getting a decent amount of XP this session, just for succeeding on some cool skill checks that your lives wrote on.
Yeah, and not Tony. More specifically.
So
Athletics
400
and
XP each person,
400. Okay.
and then extra 200 to Frost for one MVP.
Really wish I hadn't missed this one. It's a lot of XP.
12,070.
Bruh. 8,000 or 9,820.
Really? I'm at like 17. I'm at like 10,700.
Jeremiah, if you want to take like 300 XP, just because you were kind of pseudo present, I want to at least give you some.
I don't know about that.
It's whatever you want.
Wait, isn't XP typically? Oh, there it is. It's down below it. It's so weird.